There's a mountain in front of you. You want to climb it. It's gigantic. People have literally died trying. You're afraid to start. Not over the fear of your life, but from the fear of suffering. That inescapable huff and haw as you pound your legs up the mountain as your respiration system tries to keep up. That mental agony that pairs with your physical exhaustion that exists as a mechanism to prevent us from exhausting our body to death. And the worst part is, you can only make estimates as to how long you'll be in this state, how long it will take to climb. And from experience, you know the reality will always surpass your estimates. Everything takes roughly twice the time that you would guess from the beginning, but this is different. After procrastinating and mental anguish, you feel the inspiration to finally do what you're meant to do. You take that first step, but this isn't an ordinary first step. You feel yourself being sucked into the floor, and you find that the first step isn't as simple as a single act that takes less than a second, but rather the first step is an entire mountain to climb in and of itself with its own pitfalls, challenges, risks, and will not surrender to you without extensive effort. The deeper I get into this project, the more I understand exactly what we've taken on, and each step we get deeper in, we experience what I just described. With every city being such a sprawling and unending mass of human achievement, we've come to the realization that you can't tackle the entire mountain all at once. You need help. One person can't do it, and one group can't do it either. We are building the Earth in Minecraft, one-to-one scale. The thing you have to understand is that I'm not doing it by myself, and the group that builds with me in the Build It One-to-One series is not the only team. They're one team in a fleet of over 70 teams, most of which are permanently assigned to specific cities, states, countries, or continents to build them in Minecraft. Most members of these teams are natives to the area because they want to build where they live, and you can do that too. You can join the Build the Earth Discord and find your team on the map and blow your mind building where you live. But there's a real question here. We've been doing this for almost 2 years now. How much of the Earth is done? How many buildings have we completed? And how does it compare to other Minecraft projects? Build the Earth. How far are we? The result may surprise you. Now, the first thing you've got to know is if you're the owner of a team trying to build an entire country in Minecraft 101 scale, you're by definition an interesting person. So coordinating all team owners to all do something may be akin to the concept of herding cats, especially if that administrative action you wish for them to perform is a little thing like counting the dozens or hundreds or thousands of buildings your team has built in 2 years after having no procedure for counting as you go. It was a nightmare, but I'm committed to it and want as accurate of a number as possible. So we create the spreadsheet of teams, release the announcement in their Discord, and then we get to work. And by that I mean every morning when I got up, before I did anything, I went through this list of team owners on the sheet, found them in Discord DMs, and asked them how it was going. That's awesome, you can do this, keep it up, I believe in you. But there was differing success. Some of these teams had thousands of buildings to count, or more, but most that size were diligent enough because they had an incentive since they knew they had built a lot. But not everyone was so cheery. Some asserted this was a waste of time and they had no interest in knowing their total building count. That blew my mind a little bit. I don't think they're being honest. It could be an excuse for a different reason, but okay. You are uninterested in knowing your total progress of 1.5 years and would prefer to just blindly continue onwards. Sure. But aside from that, some were too inactive, some were too lazy, some refused to cooperate because, oh god, I don't know.
He doesn't like you.
Like this guy, Pizza X, owner of Chili. He refused to participate. This is a shame. BTE Chili has one of the largest Discords at over 10,000 members with a TikTok that is totally killing it. We'll never know how huge Build the Earth Chili's collective achievement is, or how that total impacts the final score. But nonetheless, totals kept coming in until we had almost everyone's objective building count after 1.5 years of doing this, and I gotta say, it's pretty insane. Here's the results. Teams numbering 65 to 45 on the list contain building totals of anywhere from 4 to 100 completed buildings. Some of these teams are graveyards, but most of them are specialty teams who are dedicated to building one thing in particular, so they go on everyone else's servers to work on them. A good example is BTE Airports. They just build airports endlessly. You not, this is a thing. Teams of note in this division are Hungary, the Caribbean, and BTE Controversy, who are dedicated to building controversial places in the world, their first location being Jeffrey Epstein's Island. Okay, moving on. Teams numbering 45 to 21 on the list contain building totals ranging from 100 to 1,000. This is where we really start to see the meat. There's still some specialty teams in this bracket, including BTE Theme Parks and the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. Interesting. But most of these teams are actual areas. Teams like Korea, Middle East, Ecuador, Ireland, Romania, Balkans, USA Midwest, Hong Kong, Texas, and BTE Nordic, and many others. The teams listed span across 6 continents, which is all of them but Antarctica. Speaking of Antarctica, we're now in the top 20 with build teams who have completed a total of 1,000 buildings or more. Number 20 is BTE Southeast, sporting cities like Narlands at 1,263 buildings. And number 19 is Antarctica. Well, it's not Antarctica, it's Build It 1-to-1, my team. Now, just like the specialty teams, all progress made by us is sent to other teams, which means the vast majority of everything we've done this year isn't going to count for us, but for the other teams. You're welcome. But Antarctica doesn't have a team, so those buildings are ours, and it totals at 1,278 buildings. I'm kind of blown away that Antarctica has that many, but if you want to know Build It 1-to-1's real total, I'm sorry, it's just not possible. Some of these events we started on top of progress done by teams previously, added to that progress, then sent the whole finished map back to their team. In that case, it's almost impossible to determine exactly what was done by us and what was done by them. But if you want a general estimate, Antarctica, Seattle, and Kyoto events each had over 1,000 buildings. Take all the other events together, and that's at least over 1,000 buildings, and you have a 4,000 total minimum. Would that theoretically put us in first place instead of our current holding at 19th? No, it doesn't, which is insane. Insanely awesome. Counting down to the top 10, each team tremendously contributing to the total building count with 4-figure totals numbering from over 1,000 to over 2,000 are the New Jersey Build Team, Team Czechoslovakia, Southwest USA, which is not an airline. For these USA teams, most of them are now state conglomerates, where teams originally starting out as their individual state or even individual cities merged with similar-sized neighboring state teams in order to make server facilitation more easy. Moving on, we've got BT Italia. I've gone there, it's beautiful. We've got Poland, Northeast USA, which is everything Northeast except New Jersey and New York, I think. And the first team crossing the 2,000 total building count is Team Canada. And at 11th, we've got Opanki, which is Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Kentucky. What an acronym. At number 10, we've got Time Sao Paulo in Latin America. I hope I pronounced that right, but probably not. With 2,219 buildings, led by Ian, this guy who did multiple censuses for teams. He is a boss. At number 9, we have Japan with 2,476 buildings who we recently collaborated with. Number 8 is Northwest, which includes Seattle. And at number 7, we have Team Cis. I have no idea what that means, cisgendered. And at 6th place, we've got Argentina with 7,000... What? No. And at 6th place, we've got Argentina with 2,719 buildings. Okay, so next up is UK, who counted all the way into the 2000s, and we're certain that they'd counted a little over half of what they actually have. So we wrote down an estimate for 3,000, which is a conservative measure. Same with Germany, an estimate of 3,000 buildings. BT Alps has an objective count of 3,057, getting it 3rd place for all teams in building progress. And 2nd place goes to BT France, totaling at 5,800 buildings. They're really passionate over there, kept me up to date with the counting, and what blows me away is they're the highest in both quality of work measurement and the qualitative measurement we're doing here. Number 1 shouldn't be a big mystery. I think you can guess who has the most buildings by far. It's Gay. No, I mean really, it's Gay, Russia. Gay is a town in Orenburg Oblast, Russia. Nah, I'm just pulling your leg. No, not your third leg. The location at Build the Earth with the most progress is New York, led by MindFact. The MindFact system has been criticized to hell and back, but it strikes a chord with the natives, it's easy to join and start, and it produces results. The master map for New York is insane. It's on our Patreon. If you've seen our New York video, you know what we're talking about. They have an estimate of 20,000 buildings. Before you say, wait a minute, let me tell you what I mean. They have 15,000 completed projects. Projects are land plots. They can have anything from 1 to 4 buildings, sometimes even more. We're not sure what the average is. So 20,000 as an estimate was really conservative. But we have a plan to count the backlog of completed projects and a way to move forward to easily calculate the continuing growing total number of completed buildings. For now, we're going conservative with the number, putting it at just 20,000. And that's how far we've come. But wait, you exclaim, with veins popping out of your forehead, having patiently watched through this video to know the total building count for our entire project. So, through a complicated mathematical algorithm labeled addition, we managed to derive the total number of buildings by taking each team total and combining them in a master number, and it ended up being 73,650 buildings. That's surprising. Those mini totals with a couple thousand each really add up quick. And this isn't counting the fact that a few of these totals are probably higher, especially New York, and our wall of shame of almost 10 different teams who didn't complete a census, many of whom have 4-figure totals. So, in short, we're almost to 100,000 buildings, and 75,000 is lowballing it. Holy Shit.
Bad word.
Back when I built 100 Seattle skyscrapers on my single-player world, I never mentioned how much that mentally destroyed me. It felt like my brain was melting into my gaming chair. All that effort for one guy just to complete 100, and yet, through the power of releasing a video asking for some help online, that total of 100 that I gave a piece of my soul to get done has now turned into 75,000 and more. Thank you to everyone who's even placed a block in this project, but also thanks to the hardcore builders who have placed a ton, done dozens or even hundreds of buildings, whether you're gone but not forgotten, or still with us, moving towards the future. Stay tuned for spring, where we might do something to increase the total drastically.
Get in, losers. We're going to react.
Okay,
Oh, are we
let's
reacting? Is that
say
what we're doing
something
today?
better than that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, Farrell.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
It's almost like it's a cool body of water. Okay,
Oh,
no,
that's good.
this is
That's
pretty
cool.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is like,
boy.
Hey Pippin, I got a snowboard. I'm going to use it all the time till it.
I
doesn't
hate
work
snow. I'm
anymore.
team ski.
I
Team
cannot
ski.
stand
I'll
I'm-
shove them straight
I'm-
up your ass. I
Yeah.
don't understand why we can't just fucking load on.
Look, I'll tell you why they're not as good for Mindfact, because Mindfact is too hard to make renders for. You
That's
tried
ridiculous.
making
No
renders
No
for
way,
Seattle.
bro. I
Didn't
made
you
the
like...
most epic New York cinematics. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's because you're PippenFTS.
Pharaoh, how did you get there? How did you end up on a beach?
Don't know the number.
Dude, they've got like sky there in Australia.
Humor, what happened? What happened?
Oh Jesus, his chair looks like it's not real. That is so
What?
weird. It looks his chair looks CGI'd. Look at this.
Humor, what happened?
Can we get to the numbers?
Oh, yeah, the number's 70.
I got pulled away for a second
Wow,
at a
whoa,
board
whoa.
meeting.
I got cut off. I'm not gonna say it.
No, say the thing. Say the thing. Say it. Say it. Pippin, I swear to God. I want to know. I need to know the number.
Hey, tell me if I painted my face purple, would I look like Buzz Lightyear?
Oh yes, Buzz Lightyear's
His
face
whole
is
face ain't
purple.
purple.
I met
I
Tim
literally
Allen,
put-
and I was gonna ask, did you take a formaldehyde bath?
You seem like you're related. Wait, what?
I don't know if you guys have seen that Santa Claus looking motherfucker who's literally purple.
Wait, do you want me to go purple? Wait, hold on. I'll send you a video of me turning purple if you want.
I will walk around and interact with my environment so you know it's real.
That's like
Yeah.
domestic violence, the video. This is like the journey. This is like one of those meth comparisons. Like each mugshot. And you get like 15 mugshots in and they look like this. I need to redo the Dragon Ball Z clip, but replace it with this.
Cue a DBZ clip of just, but instead I'm the character just having the shit beat out of me.
Hey, I have one thing to say.
No,
Okay.
I don't want to hear it,
No.
Humor. I don't want to hear it.